Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm currently at my summer house, but today will be a different format of the video. I will be talking a lot and I would like to cover the topic, or actually answer the question I was already asked a few times. It is why I returned to Russia. You probably already have some guesses and maybe they are correct. However, the answer to this question is more complex than just one reason, because there were multiple factors that affected my decision. I'll go through all of them in this video. They all were very important to me. However, there was one which was particularly the most important for me. And if not this factor, I would still be probably hesitating to return, even though the rest of the factors were very serious for me too. I'll speak about this aspect which affected my decision the most in the end. Spoilers, it's a personal issue. So to start with, I think I should give you a little bit of a context. I was born and raised in Novosibirsk, Russia, where I currently am. But last 16 years I spent living in Central Europe, particularly in Prague, Czech Republic. You probably wonder what brought me there in the first place. I simply went to study there in my late teens, and one thing led into another. I found a job, I got married, I had my first kid when I was only 23. Then I got divorced. Then after a few years I were in another serious relationship and had another kid. Then after a while we split with his father as well. Also now when I'm telling this it all sounds very depressive, but there were some happy moments too. Also I should say that Prague was a great city to live in, arguably the best city to live in Europe. In terms of cost of living, suitable transport, cleanliness of the city, the beauty of the city, and so on. Probably the only issue I had there was my relationship with the locals. Don't get me wrong, they were not bad. I'm sure, in fact, there were a lot of great people. It's just their mentality is very different from ours. They are more closed, private, not very open for some close relationship. And considering me being an introvert myself, I believe we were just not a good match. I didn't manage to make there some deep connections, and that's probably what every Russian is about: deep, soulful connections and meaningful relationships. Not only casual, brief interactions. And so, after a while, I gave up on making a good friends. In fact, I stopped trying to make any friends and started to be more and more isolated. It was making me lonely and depressed, but I just didn't see the point in trying. Also, my job wasn't fulfilling me at all, and I ended up to be a single mom with 2 kids. It all was adding up to my depression even more. I don't blame anyone, by the way, it's utterly 100% my chain of decisions, but anyway, I felt that I was stuck. And since about past 7-8 years, I started to feel that I want to return to Russia. But unfortunately, it was not possible because of the fathers of the kids. They would not let them go with me, even though both of the kids were living full time with me. And leaving kids there and going to Russia alone was never an option for me. And so I felt trapped. It was really a situation without a solution, without an exit. And I think because of it, my physical health started to decline as well. In last 5 years, I started to go to doctors more and more often with one thing or another. It seemed like the situation was going out of control, and I had a lot of anxiety about this. And speaking of anxiety, we all know what was going on in the world last years. First the pandemic, then the military conflict, and you probably know what's the official position of the governments of most European countries towards Russia and Russians. And even though I never really encountered any direct negativity towards me. The pressure from the media and main political agenda was very harsh. And that all as well was adding up to my anxiety very seriously. And I think this pressure was doing a number on my mental health, even though on the surface it seemed like nothing was happening. And I think only blind now still doesn't see what's really going on in the world, and that's why it was really hard for me to continue staying there. And honestly, I really wanted to be with my country during this challenging time in history. Nevertheless, I might have stayed there anyway if it was not for the last most important factor I was talking about in the beginning. In the spring of this year, in March particularly, I started to have panic attacks. I guess it was a culmination of all my anxiety and feeling of being trapped and not having a possibility to escape, and also the way I was dealing with my problems. I was eating a lot of junk food and processed sugary stuff extensively and just treating myself horribly. It was my temporary getaway from the problems, but that knocks the body and mind out, as I know now. Not that I didn't know that before, but I just felt too bad to stop. I was in this cycle. Until, as I said, the panic attacks happened. And this, my friend, was truly the worst thing that ever happened to me. Nothing was more horrifying, no physical pain, no regular depression could have compared with it. In fact, when this was happening, I was even missing my old sad, depressed self and was ready to do anything to make it go away. Pills, however, was never an option for me. It's just the way I'm made. Taking something knowing that it will only mask the symptoms and will not cure the cause and possibly will give me a lot of negative side effects, it just wasn't for me. However, I don't judge anyone who does it. Everyone has their own path. And so I've done a lot of research and find out that the diet might help, particularly high fat, low carb diets like keto or carnivore. So I started doing this and it was really helping. I started to see a lot of improvements really fast, like within 2 weeks or so, especially with my physical body. But I guess I just needed much more time to heal, and I still was having a lot of anxiety with the panic episodes. And I just intuitively felt that I have to go to Russia, to my homeland, to my family, to my mom. I knew it would help. The only problem was still not being able to go with the kids. And so, out of desperation, I talked to their fathers, explained them everything very openly, and to my big surprise, they had compassion and understanding and agreed on me going with the kids. And I'm very grateful to them for this. And so I packed my whole life in 3 big suitcases and found the best possible ticket. It also was very hard to get to Russia because, as you probably know, there is no direct connection between Europe and Russia right now. So I had to travel through Kazakhstan. And in my state, alone with 2 kids, it was almost mission impossible. Now, looking back, I can't believe that I did it. And so here I am, back in Russia, in my hometown, Novosibirsk, in the heart of Siberia. And I don't know if I made the right decision in the global scale, but being here close to my family made me feel much better almost instantly. It's just great being home. And overall, I feel much better. Not anywhere close to where I wish to be, but tangibly better. Maybe I'll make some other video on what I was doing and what was helping me. Let me know if you are interested. Maybe it can help someone else. I guess I've answered the question why I've returned to Russia. To summarize, main reasons were feeling lonely, unfulfilled and depressed for a long period of time, being far away from my family, feeling very anxious about my health and current geopolitical situation, and finally, panic attacks. Now you know the whole story. Please don't be too harsh in the comments. Moving here after such a long time was definitely not the easy decision to make, and telling all this out loud was also not easy for me. And I guess the actual reason of me making this video is knowing that now is a really challenging time for many, no matter where you are. It's probably true what they say, that our planet goes through some metaphysical transitions and many people experience hard times, whether with health, relationships, self-identity or other. If it's you, I thought I just could give you some hope and some support and say that it does get better, that you can heal, that you can turn your life around. Just take your best chance, whatever it is for you. You got it. I think I'll wrap it up here. I still trying to figure out what I will be doing here in Russia. For now, I'm just focusing on healing, and I also enjoy making these videos for you. Hope you like them too. Anyway, thank you for listening for so long, for being with me today. I feel your support in the comments of my videos and I really appreciate it. Have a really great day wherever you are, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!